and welcome. You're watching Money Control, and in this special edition, we are going to be finding out what the budget fine print really means for you and your wallet. I have with me a very special guest, and Purva Prakash from Deloitte is here to join us and also to tell us really what individual taxpayers can really expect, and you know what really changes for them and how life really changes for them after the budget. So Purva, thanks a lot for joining in this very special show. And how does our life really change after the union budget?
Yeah. So thanks, Sakshi. Yes, individual taxpayers, of course, they were expecting changes on the tax rates or the tax slabs, or giving boost to the savings by enhancing the limit of ADC deductions.
Yes.
So no changes have made.
None
of them have been made for them. So clearly there's no. They could
no
be
higher exemption.
No higher exemptions. Even for the salaried class, they were expecting some of the exemption limits on children allowance and other things could increase, So,
Right.
So to them, it could be a disappointment.
Absolutely,
Yes,
especially when in the interim budget, we had seen a whole lot of announcements being made, either for medical expenses or or for tax exemption for that matter at all. And before that, also the previous budget had the standard deduction as well. So on that front, there has been very little announced.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, that's what the intent of the FM has been, because in the interim budget, some of these important changes were made, like they gave a rebate for income up to 5 lakhs, those kind of changes were made. So clearly, I think her focus this time was towards the super rich and the high income taxpayers. And clearly, it increases the burden on them because of the additional surcharge, which has increased from current, 15% to 2 different kind of categories of income, So it goes from 15% to 27% or to even 37%, 25% or 37%, So this means an effective tax rate burden of say around 3% and 7%. So clearly they are unhappy. They could be unhappy.
So let me just, for the benefit of all the viewers who are watching our show, let me just tell them that there has been an increase in surcharge for those who are earning anywhere between 2 to 5 crore rupees. Also an increase in surcharge for those earning 5 crore and above. And effective income tax increase has been of 3% for those earning from 2 crore to 5 crore rupees. So all of this, how much does it really change for them? How much additional tax will they now have to pay?
Yeah. So currently, say at that bracket, they had the tax rate of 35.88%.
Correct.
So it goes up to 39%, So the people in the first category of income and people who are earning more than 5 crores, there the tax rate increases from 35.88% to close to 43%. So that's a big burden on that, in terms of the amount of tax outgo, which would go from their pockets.
Absolutely. So the HNIs have definitely been hurt in this point, because this budget clearly says, tax the super rich, and there have been various announcements to that effect as of now. But apart from this, the one thing that all the middle class or the salary class would be able to cheer is the announcement on the NPS front. There was some announcement in the interim budget as well, and this time that announcement has been extended.
Yeah, you're right. NPS is an important, saving instrument.
Sure.
And currently how it works is that, out of the total withdrawal, 40% is annuity, which is tax, but 60% out of 60%, 40% was taxable and 20% was exempt. So now they have made entire 60% exempt, so that really helps them in terms of, giving some benefit to them, and it's a good instrument.
Right, absolutely. Apart from this, I also wanted to understand all these middle class and salary class people like us, they actually are interested in buying all the affordable housing. There were announcements with regards to that. And obviously, we need to find out how much more, interest saving would one do if you want to go ahead and buy that house right now.
Right. So for people, essentially staying in, say, tier 2 cities or middle class people, who want to buy house value up to say 45 lakhs.
Okay.
There they will, any loan that they take for purchasing that house property, so they get an interest deduction from their total income up to 1.5 lakhs on that interest amount.
This is after the announcement, or this was before?
No, this is after the announcement, so currently this is what's been proposed, and this is a kind of a new section where they will get this tax relief on any interest paid on loan taken for affordable houses. So that's good, that encourages housing as well as government's intent on this policy.
Right.
And another area is that, in case, from now onwards that they try to purchase EV.
Yes,
Again, if
electric
they,
vehicles.
electric vehicles. So they can take a loan, and again they get an interest deduction up to 1.5 lakhs on
Yeah.
loan taken. And of course, there are certain conditions around it, but that's a good measure, and that will
Right.
help in kind of diverting their expenditure towards their priority areas.
Sure. And Purva, just to help all our viewers really understand from compliance point of view, what has been really announced and how will it really impact them?
Yeah. From compliance, one is that they are, from a tax filing of returns are concerned, so they're saying that there'll be a pre-filled tax return
Yes.
form which would be available for people who are having salary income, capital gains, or interest income. So,
The return
that
filing will become easier.
easier. So the data will be directly sourced from banks and other sources.
Right.
So the information will be there. So it's a quicker process, less time consuming, and they can
Yes.
just reconcile. So that eases the filing burden.
And more people
Yeah.
will be
Yeah.
encouraged to file
Yeah.
returns, and where we see
Yeah.
currently in our country, many people are not filing returns just because they do not understand the complexities as well.
Yeah, that's right. And also, in the current year, they have in the current year return forms, they have substantially increased the fields of disclosure of income.
Yes.
So essentially, this will really ease the task if most of the data is getting sourced from there. So that's
Absolutely.
one area of ease of compliance. Then even in terms of e-assessments,
Yeah.
they don't want any interface with the department. So, there'll be kind of notices issued on specified transactions, and then, that's how you can kind of respond. That's again a good welcome move. But one area where the government really wants to kind of expand the tax net and capture high value transactions. So there they have made it mandatory for filing of the return of income.
Okay.
Where you're depositing money more than 1 CR in a bank during the year, aggregate money, you'll be captured, or you're making a foreign travel, either yourself or with any other person, so you can be captured over there, or through because of the electricity bill which exceeds a particular amount. Then they may also specify more transactions. So therefore, the intent would be to cover and enhance the tax base. So that's going to be mandatory. And
Absolutely.
so you cannot really escape as being a non-filer.
Absolutely. And one more pain point for all the super rich is going to be the TDS that they have announced on withdrawal of 1 crore rupees from bank in a year. So how does it really impact, and what would you want to say to that?
So see, TDS of 2% hurts,
Yeah.
if the cash withdrawal is more than 1 CR in a year. But I think you have to see from the intent point of view. There, the government is essentially encouraging digital payments, and I think most of the people do use those form of cards. So I think they'll just become more conscious about it.
Absolutely. And I also wanted to ask you about the interesting announcement that Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman made, and that was in the interchangeability of Aadhaar with PAN, and how would that really benefit all the individuals?
Yeah. So that will essentially, where people don't have PAN, so they can use Aadhaar to get their PAN. Or essentially, currently the scheme is that you have to basically link PAN and Aadhaar together. So now you can use Aadhaar, to facilitate that. So to that extent, it eases, sometimes PAN filing takes time. Aadhaar is probably easier. So that facility that's been given is helpful.
Absolutely.
And even for the NRIs, when they come into India, they had to wait for 6 months, to get their Aadhaar card. So that was a kind of a minimal stay period. Now on the arrival, they can get it. So it eases for them, So the moment they come, they may want to take certain registrations, etc.
Yeah.
So Aadhaar can be used for all those purposes.
Absolutely. Now, there were a whole host of, wish lists that we had actually seen from on the individual taxpayers, and some of them included that, even PPF, or just like how PPF is, even NPS should be triple E, or the exempt status should have been given over there. That is some bit of disappointment. Apart from that, there was a huge expectation that inheritance tax or wealth tax would be introduced. So some of these, were you expecting as well, and those announcements have not really come in, and you're disappointed with that?
See, so far as inheritance tax is concerned, that's one area which should be really kind of looked into more deeply.
Yeah.
But government have tried to tax super rich by enhancing the surcharge limits. So to that extent, the tax comes from them.
Yeah.
And yes, I think people had one more expectation, important expectation, was on the capital gains, long-term capital gains, listed securities. So, last year it's to be taxed if it exceeds more than 1 CR.
Yeah.
So the not 1 CR, 1
1
lakh,
lakh
1
rupees.
lakh rupees. So expectation was that they would try to increase the threshold limit. So
Yeah.
essentially, it will not only boost the capital market, it will also give them a choice of investment portfolio.
Right.
That has not happened. So some of those.
In fact, the market was probably hoping against hope that
Yeah.
this could be rolled back.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
obviously was just like going
Yeah.
too far with the hopes. That
Yeah.
hasn't happened and nothing more has changed, and the markets would be probably happier that this has not been reduced further
Yeah.
rather than increasing. And apart from that, there were a whole host of announcements last time around the DDT or STT as well. Any more tax transactions that have been talked about in this budget that all the taxpayers should be knowing about?
No, they haven't really talked about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Apart from that, is there anything that you were particularly looking at in the union budget which has not really come?
I would say savings.
Okay.
You know, people would like to kind of save more, and the
Yeah.
current limit of exemption under ATC is too low. You
Right,
know,
only
so,
1.5 lakh
yeah,
rupees.
yeah. So that
Even
they
the
can-
unbundling of ATC has been like long under the
Yeah.
radar, and all these advisors such as yours who we have been speaking with have been saying that because all the investment opportunities have been bundled under this ATC, that could have been unbundled so that there would have been more avenues where people can go ahead and actually invest.
Absolutely, I agree with you, because that limit essentially gets all exhausted with the Provident Fund, you know. So clearly, if it was unbundled, it would have diverted savings and, you know, kind of give you a choice of investments. So that's not happened. And then even for the salaried class, you know, some of the exemption limits are too low, you know, on certain children allowance, hostel allowance.
Yes.
So those kind of rationalization could have happened, but that's always a wish list, you know. So,
Absolutely, and medical allowance?
yeah, those kind of things, you know. So those are the wish lists. Of course, government in the interim budget, they had enhanced the standard deduction limit from 40,000 to 50,000.
Yeah.
So I think probably the finance minister did not really now want to touch upon that area,
Right.
because there's no end to it. You know, we always expect, but otherwise, you know, areas where I would like to invest in affordable housing, I think that's a good point of making expenditure. over
Right,
there.
and lastly, Purva, I'd just like to ask you, from a taxpayer's point of view, how would you really rate this budget and what do you think about it?
I would say probably 7 to 8,
Okay.
because yes, super rich people who earn income, higher income, they have to pay extra tax, and for normal taxpayers, there's been no much change. So perhaps you know, they'll be a little bit disappointed. So that's why I'm making it probably to 7. Otherwise, I would have said probably 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thanks a lot, then, Purva, for sharing all those insights with
Thank
us
you.
on money control. Well, the union budget has been delivered. It was the maiden budget of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. The richy rich would be really hurt with the kind of taxes and surcharges which have been introduced in the union budget. But apart from that, the middle class and the salaried class, they don't have to worry too much because life doesn't really change for them. There are bits and pieces where they could cheer. There is announcement on the NPS front. There are a few announcements around the affordable housing, just like how Purva also pointed out. So some like little bit of cheer that they can actually talk about, but not much really changes for you in life in general. Thank you very much for watching us in this special edition.